Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. I'm here with Ray. How are you, Ray?
Hi guys, I'm not so bad.
Back in the UK?
Yeah, back in the UK on Sunday. Kids in school today, so peace and quiet at last.
Yeah, well, listen. Today we're going to talk about several things. We're going to look at. We asked on our live vlog for questions that you wanted me and Ray to talk about, and we're going to talk about one of those. But before I actually go into the discussion and debates that we're going to talk about today, I'd just like to say, our condolences go to Billy McNeill's family. Billy sadly died, ex-Man City manager, sadly died at the age of 79. And if for those who, even before mine and Ray's time, 1967, Celtic won the European Cup final. People will remember, older fans will remember sort of Billy McNeill as the captain of the Lisbon Lions when they defeated Inter Milan. And don't forget, in 1983, Billy McNeill actually managed Manchester City, got us promoted after a couple of till 86, got us promoted. I think in his second season. Back to what was the Premier League, but was the old First Division, and it's another sad day for everybody surrounding. So we'd just like to say a massive sort of condolences to Billy McNeill and his family. But onwards today, Ray, do you want to say something?
Yeah, you mentioned the name Billy McNeill, and that reminds me of Billy Meredith, who was the City captain.
Yeah.
In 1904, on this, apparently, I think it was this very day that City won their first trophy, and that was the FA Cup final in 1904.
Yeah.
So,
history.
Sorry,
history.
A little bit, you know. Don't accuse me of being there, mate.
We haven't got any history apparently.
We haven't got any history. Yeah, 1904, guys. First Man City trophy, and I think that's 115 years ago. That's a long, long time.
Yeah, it is. So, like I said, sorry if I'm coughing, guys. My hay fever is absolutely killing me today. So, but yeah, it's nice to be able to remember certainly a City manager, even if it was just for 3 years. I think the rumor was that before he came to City, Ron Atkinson got the Man United job, and I think Billy McNeill was actually United wanted Billy McNeill as their manager prior to the Ferguson era, but he came to City. So he got us to the First Division. So, like I said, condolences to Billy McNeill. So, for those of you younger fans out there, go back and have a look at Billy McNeill's history. An amazing player, captain of Celtic, and a member of the Lisbon Lions that were the first. I think they were the first British team to win the European Cup final.
Exactly.
Back in was it 1967? Anyway, we move on today, and what we're going to do today is, seeing so me and Ray are here together, is we said on our live vlogs that what we were going to do was ask you guys what questions you want us and issues and discussion topic points that you wanted us to discuss, and we had loads and loads of requests. Some of them we're going to do towards the end of the season because there were things like player ratings, and we can't do that right now. And can you talk about Pep and his tactics and things like that, which again we'll cover those. They are going to be covered at the end of the season. But one in particular from Qasim Ali, who comes on our channel all the time, and he says, what about some of the players that are outgoing, areas to strengthen, and what do you think, who is going, who might stay, and where do we need to strengthen? So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at 6-8 players there or thereabouts. And Ray sort of messaged me this morning, excuse me, to basically say these are the players that potentially, if you listen to media outlets, which I think we've discussed time and time again, these are some of the players that potentially have been rumoured to be unhappy, discontented at City, or just not playing enough and might go. So the players we're going to look at, we're going to look at Riyad Mahrez, we're going to look at Gabriel Jesus, we're going to look at Danilo, Gündogan, Fabian Delph, Otamendi, Sane, and Claudio Bravo. So
there's one more, mate. Mangala. Eliaquim Mangala.
Well, is that worthy of discussion? Do we have to debate whether he's going to be at City next season?
The forgotten man. Yeah, he's got a contract.
He's going to be gone.
But we'll do it briefly.
Yeah, well,
some of them will be very brief.
He's going to go. So anyway, let's start off with the first one, which has just come to light with certainly all over Twitter last night, all over Twitter today. And that is Riyad Mahrez. So there you go, our Algerian followers. Yeah. We're going to talk about Riyad Mahrez, and we're going to keep each one brief. We're not going to go into it. So this is going to just be a shorter video, let's hope so, today. So, Ray, Riyad Mahrez.
He might be itching for a move or, causing a bit of grief. These stories have been going on since, I think, January time, when he wasn't getting any league game time. He's playing the Cups. He was playing against the likes of Burton. He was playing against the likes of Rotherham. That's the kind of games he was playing. And obviously, if you've come from a championship winning team a couple of years ago in Leicester, you were player of this season, you think you deserve to be starting, you're going to be a little bit downhearted, a bit miffed, a bit annoyed, aggrieved.
But surely, with regards to that, surely Mahrez knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What he was letting himself into.
Yeah.
Considering we had Sterling and Sane both playing on the wings, and we had Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva in midfield in the attacking sense. So surely before he signed that contract, he knew exactly.
He knew exactly. Okay. He knew exactly what he was setting himself up for. And I'm sure Cheeky and Pep had spoken to him, and he knew, he was not just going to walk in and be a first team starter. He knew we play a lot of rotation. Look, we're going to play over 60 games this season. That's plenty enough for everyone.
So he knew all this. So do you think he's complaining about the amount of games he's played?
He's hardly played this second half of the season since January. He's hardly played, and undoubtedly.
Can I just stop you there 1 minute? Riyad Mahrez, if we go back to prior to him joining Man City, obviously was at Leicester.
Yeah.
In the 2017-18 season before he joined City, he played 41 games. He scored 13 goals and got 13 assists, which,
not bad.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is good. In a Leicester team, yeah, it's great. So far this season, since he joined Man City, he's played 42 games, got 11 goals and 11 assists. So he's played one more, and the season's not even finished yet. Game time?
I think
some of those come from the subs bench.
I think his issue is some of them are coming from the subs bench, and some of them are coming against your subpar teams. He's been involved heavily in the cup runs, but who we played? Newport in the cup, Swansea, Rotherham. And as I said, in the Carabao Cup, Oxford he played against, I think. We played against Burton twice. So if, for argument's sake, let's say he played all those games, he could have about 8 or 10 games playing against much, much inferior opposition. So he's probably...
If that's the case, are those goals and assists because of the games? And because my argument is you get a lot of people, or you get people on Twitter sort of saying, oh my God, the argument is you look at his goals and assists for City this season, he should play more. Yet, they'll say, well, look at Watford, look at Spurs, he's won these many points for us. Forget all the points we've won because of 8-9 players have played. So he's got 42 games, appearances, be that sub-starters playing in all various competitions, 11 goals, 11 assists. Most of those have come against pretty crap.
Let's say half of them have come against weak.
Yeah, against weak.
He did well in the Champions League qualification stages.
Yeah,
but once again, you look at it and say, well, Hoffenheim are not the best, really. The Moscow they were not the best, and
Schalke, was it? Did he play Schalke?
I can't remember who he played. But they're not the best. So he's played against a lot of weaker opposition. look, we both know objectively, and I think this is the important point, is to be objective. And people, sadly, people have got their Algerian tinted specs on when they talk about Mahrez being the best player at City. I mean, people are telling us he's the best player at City. You see games where he's been poor, people say he was the best player on the pitch because WhoScored.com said so. And I'd say, WhoScored.com? Who are they.com?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's
we're at the game. We know.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Live at games when he's played.
Yeah.
And he has not been great.
It's let down. Look, I said against.
It's been when, I mean, the price tag is one thing, 60 million quid, but you expect a hell of a lot more. When we've seen him in league games, when he started and done pretty much nothing, you know, he's got to grab these opportunities.
Exactly. He ticks boxes. He ticks. Okay, he has a good pass success rate. Passing backwards, you know, I can have a good pass rate, just passing it between us. He's not done enough in an attacking sense. He's got games, some big games under Pep, like Liverpool, like Spurs in the Champions League away, but that's for his defensive qualities. But as for his attacking qualities, you got on the right, Bernardo and Sterling are miles ahead. Yeah. Miles ahead.
Absolutely, I agree. So
he's not done enough. Look, what I think, he agitated for a move away from Leicester when City were interested. And if he's really, really unhappy, I don't know how old he is now, 27, 28. He's knocking on a bit, 27, I think. So if he agitates, it's up to City. City might say, get lost. You know, you're going to stay. I think it's in his best interest to stay another season and fight for it. Fight for that opportunity.
Do you believe the rumours that the Mail Online with Jack Gaughan says he's been agitating and vocal in training around the CFA? Can you honestly believe Riyad Mahrez has been telling all the players he's not happy in front of Pep and blah, blah, blah? Because that was the way his article came across.
Well, I suspect, look, if you're not happy, your closest mates or confidants within the team, you might tell them. I think that's normal. Okay,
that's what you have an agent for.
Yeah. Well, no, but you might whinge to your agent. You might whinge to a couple of mates in the team. Okay, I think that's normal. You know, something happens, we might whinge to each other, or have a chat with each other, or this has happened, or whatever. So that might happen. He might cut a sorry figure sometimes. You know, he doesn't smile enough. Maybe it's just the editing from some of the City videos. And he doesn't look as happy as you think a player who's got his heart in it should look. But personally, I think he should stick it out for another season. I think City should stick it out with him. City are not going out buying rubbish. We're not buying bums. We're buying good, top quality players. You know, and we generally these days we're not making mistakes with under Pep and Cheeky.
So to move this on then.
Yeah.
We spent 60 million on Mahrez. Will he be here in the summer? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I think he'll be given another year.
Unless
he forces a move. Unless he
forces it, someone says, we'll give you 50 million, and we just say, we'll cut our losses, you go, we'll invest that with another 60 million or 50 million that we were going to look for another wide man or a striker like Felix or Jovic or whatever, and we'll use the Mahrez money to invest in younger talent who have got more potential.
Yeah, I agree. So let's have a look here. Next one we wanted to discuss was Gabriel Jesus. These were the names that were, you know, with regards to unhappy, happy, blah, 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 blah. Gabby signed a new contract not so long ago, came out in the press not so long ago to say he's really happy. Of course, he had difficult times when his parents and his friends were away, but his friends are still here. He loves Manchester, he loves City, and he understands the whole situation with Aguero is the number one player, and he's more than happy to learn from Aguero. So why are we talking about Gabriel Jesus?
I'd be really surprised. He's what, 22 years old, something in that region, I suspect. I'd be really surprised if Gabby was itching for a move and was really unhappy, because, like you say, he's had his unhappy period where he, family and whatever. And I know last season he was frustrated at times when he wasn't scoring, because I watched some highlights of a game today or yesterday where he scored and he booted the ball in and he was like leathering it again once it was already in, and I thought he was going to kick the post. He was really annoyed, but I think that was a culmination of he had a lot of chances and he kept missing and saves, and he hadn't scored for a while. But I think the kid is genuinely happy. He looks happy most of the time. He's got a sad face sometimes, but I think that's just his normal face, pensive and thoughtful, and But I think overall, I don't see why he should be unhappy. He's probably played a decent number of games this season. He's scored a decent number of goals.
Okay, well, I'll stop you on that point when you talk about statistics. Don't forget, we've been linked with as media does at this time of year, even though there's nothing going on, clickbait sort of journalism. We've been linked with, God knows, every single potential player in world football who scored a few goals were Jovic, Joao Felix, Pepe. We're linked with I said on the Bolt from the Blue podcast, I said I looked yesterday and we were linked with 5 players, 3 of them all for the same position. Allegedly, each article said we're in for this player. Well, should I buy all 3 of them for that one? That's garbage, utter garbage. But if you look at Gabby's statistics, well, if we go back to last year, Gabby played, and this is not starts, this is overall games. 42 games, 17 goals, 5 assists.
Not bad.
This season, 43 games, 19 goals, 5 assists. So 2 more goals, 1 more game.
Similar.
Can't complain about not playing.
Yeah. I think also he's played a few games like Mahrez against the lower league opposition, and he's filled his boots. I think he got a hat-trick in one. But he's look, he's developing. He's still developing under Pep. He's still learning. And when we see him play, he really does bust a gut. He puts a lot of effort in.
He's an absolute baby.
Yeah.
He's got so much learning. I mean, he's got 6 more years before strikers get into their, look at Aguero when he was 28, 29. That's the age of where strikers really come into their sort of he's 22 years of age. I
think he'll keep developing. By 24, he'll be where he's going to be, and we'll know. I think, yes, I've been not only say critical at times. I've said he's not scored enough goals when he's had the chances, and he gets caught offside far too often for a top player. But he's still got time on his side. He's 22, and I still believe rotating. If we're going to keep playing 60 games every season, you're going to get plenty of opportunity. And if you start, I think what he needs is he needs a run in the team. He does need a run in the team.
Well, we've seen when he has had a run in the team, 4 or 5 games, he scored. I think it was 6-7 goals in 6 games or something like that. So he can do it.
Yeah.
But you've got to. He understands this role that he's got, and he's playing behind possibly one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the Premier League history, and in world football, in Sergio Aguero. So, at 22 years of age, there's not many 22-year-olds out there that are hitting, are starters for the big teams in world football. And you look at, take Barca for example, Messi, Suarez, any of them 22? No. Yeah. You take Real Madrid, Benzema,
31.
You're looking. None of them are 22 years of age. All right, you've got the junior, the Brazilian guy who Vinicius, who went to Madrid, etc. But none of the top teams have a young kid as their main striker. They just don't.
No, Gabby's got time. He's got. The way I look at it, he'll spend another couple of years developing under Pep. If he starts banging in goals left, right, and centre, he'll push Sergio Aguero aside. We know that.
Oh, and I think that will happen. I do think it will happen next season. I do honestly believe next season he'll push
It's
Sergio.
up to him. But once again, it's up to him. It's same as Mahrez. You perform when you're given the opportunities. Yes, I understand if you're only given a game now and again, you might try too hard or whatever. But you've got to get it right. Look at, I mean, I'm just saying off the top of my head, I'll just mention Rashford because I know you like Rashford.
I love Rashford.
When he was given an opportunity, he took it with both hands.
Yeah.
And he scored a few goals. Okay, not as many as Gabby, but he stood out for a pretty poor Man United team. Yeah. So the fans clamoured for him and said he was a world beater and all this. He's a decent player. But he took his chance, and now he's there in and amongst them, getting starts quite regularly. And I think the same with Gabby. You've just got to take your chance when you got it. It's like anything. You don't take your chance, you'll be out in the wilderness. You take your chance, you'll be pushed further forward.
So my question to you then is, Gabriel Jesus gone in the summer or no? Stays, absolutely. Right, moving on to the next one. Danilo.
Danilo, he's a very versatile player. And I've liked him when he's come back from injury. He's had a bit of problems with him. Last season, but this almost every game, I think I'm wobbling.
You just wobbled a little bit.
Over my head. Well, okay, Danilo, this season, I think since he come back from injury, he's been very dependable. And he's versatile. He'll play right back. He'll play left back. He'll play defensive midfielder. He'll play centre back if you want him to. He is versatile. That's one of his good attributes. And I think he's reliable overall. Is he as good as Mendy going forwards? No. Is he as good as Walker going forwards? No. But is he a capable backup? Absolutely.
Do you think the rumours obviously look pretty solid? Pretty solid because they're talking about figures that have been announced. So there's talk of Inter Milan.
Yeah.
They've put a €20 million bid in. City want, and this is, like I said, speculation, but at least these are comebacks to.
It feels a bit stronger.
It feels a bit stronger that City are saying they want to hold out for 25 million for him. So, without going into, I must admit, off the top of my head, I haven't got Danilo's stats.
He's not played a lot because he's been injured.
Yeah. Is Danilo going in the summer or is he staying?
Let's have a quick 30-second thing. Have we got somebody else that can cover for him, or are we going to get somebody else in that can cover?
He's a good utility player.
Yeah, I want him to stay because he's a good utility player.
Do City need to raise some funds? And is he going to be one of the players that?
Well,
I think he's 27, 28. He wants more football.
Yeah, he wants more football.
And he deserves more football. Yeah. He's a good player.
What I will say is, if we go out and buy someone like Wan-Bissaka as a right back, then I can see Danilo leaving because he's now a very good utility player, but behind Walker and Wan-Bissaka. Left back, Pep's going to probably get somebody, so he'll be behind the new left back, Mendy and Zinchenko. Defensive midfielder, we've got Fernandinho. We're going to get somebody else, so he'll be behind him as well. So on that basis of if we're probably going to get a new right back, a new left back, and a new DM, I'll say Danilo is going.
Well, I'll ask you one more question on Danilo very quickly.
Yeah.
If it was a choice of Gündogan staying as a utility player or Danilo staying as a utility player, which one would you pick?
Danilo.
Me too. I'll be honest with you, me too. I like Gündogan, but I agree with you. I would stick with Danilo. He seems happy and you know. So anyway, we move on to the next one, which is Gündogan. We just spoke about him, so very quickly, Gündogan. We know it's down to his contract. It's down to the contract. We have no idea what's happening with his contract negotiations. We don't have any clue. Okay. Neither do journalists. Neither do anything else. So Gündogan is going to wait. He wants to wait until the end of the summer, the end of the season. And in the summer, he wants to discuss it with City. Now, we know there are several options on the table. One is Gündogan says, I'll sign another 3-year contract, which he'll probably want at least 3 years because that takes him to sort of,
31.
32 years of age, and that's what he wants. Of course he wants. We'd want the same thing.
Yeah.
The second one is he probably might want more game time. Now, realistically, if we sign, he's not going to get it.
I said for the same reasons.
Yeah. And the third one is, well, if City won't offer him a 3-year contract, he's got 1 year left on his contract, which means he'll run it down and won't get any money for him. Now, we only invested 20 million. So we can even say 20 million was a good purchase at the time for 3-4 years of football from a German international, 3 years of football from a German international. That's good business, and we get nothing. And he can go on and, get a massive signing on fee from somebody. Or we turn around in the summer and we say, we ain't giving you a 3-year contract, or he says, I don't want to sign. I want to run down my contract. City can't let him. Well, there's the option of letting him run down that contract. We get nothing, or we go, we're not going to let you run down the contract. We want some money back. What are your thoughts on the whole Gündogan issue?
Okay.
I'm going to give you 3 minutes because
I don't need 3. Okay, first point. We're going to get a new defensive midfielder. We all know that. We've been saying that. We tried last summer. Fernandinho will probably still be number 1 next season. He'll be rotating with a new defensive midfielder. But
number 1 over Fernandinho?
Fernandinho will be our number 1 defensive midfielder.
Fernandinho.
We're going to get another defensive midfielder in. Let's say, for argument's sake, and it is credible that we're looking at Tongi and Ndombele. We're looking at a few other people, and we're looking at 60-80 million quid. Okay, we're not buying them to be behind Gündogan in the pecking order. They'll be above Gündogan. So at best, he's going to be 3rd choice. So he can look at it and say, well, I'm going to be 3rd choice here. I'm already struggling a bit. Okay, I played pretty decent, but he knows he's behind Fernandinho. He knows he's behind Kevin De Bruyne as an attacking midfielder, not behind David Silva. He can say, I can hold my own there, but he's behind Bernardo Silva. So he's looking at all those midfield options. So I think next season he'll get fewer minutes than he got this season. That's going to be in his brain. Look at Aaron Ramsey. He's gone to Juventus. 400 grand a week.
Yeah.
400 grand a week. And the reason Juventus can pay him so much is because they didn't pay a transfer fee. And Aaron Ramsey, whatever people want to say, if he commanded a proper transfer fee, you'd look at 40 or 50 million quid. Yeah. Okay? So what Juventus are doing, they'll pay him, let's say for argument's sake, 10 million quid as a signing on bonus. They've saved 30 or 40 million quid. So they can afford to pay him an extra 10 million quid a year over the length of the next 3 years. They'll still be quids in from their point of view. They'll still be saving money. And I think same with Gündogan. City won't pay him more than 200,000 a week. We know that, okay? He'd be lucky to get that. He can go to someone.
This is more than 3 minutes.
Only been 2 minutes. I'm checking my time.
Go on, hurry up.
He can go to PSG, for instance, or somewhere else. They'll pay him 300 grand a week, no problem. 20 million quid signing on bonus, no problem. Because Gündogan, he's only 29. He's still worth 40 million quid in today's money. Okay, someone says we'll give you 20 million sign-on bonus, we'll pay you 300 grand a week. From his point of view, what's not to like? And we're going to give you more game time. If he's letting his contract run to the end of the season, I think he's going personally, and I think the numbers say he's going.
So that's my question: is Gündogan going? Yes or no in the summer?
Yeah. Going.
He's going. Okay, so. Ray thinks Gündogan is definitely going.
What do you think?
I think he's going. Okay, so that's that was Gündogan. I think we both agree, me and Ray, that Gündogan could possibly go in the summer. So that moving on to our utility player who was brilliant last season, has not really had a look in because of injuries this season, and that's Fabian Delph.
Fabian Delph,
Sorry, just pause there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure he'll come back. There he is. He's back.
Okay, let's go back. Delph, he's been cover for the injured Ben Mendy. I think Ben Mendy has played 17 or 18 league games for City in practically 2 seasons. It's not many. That's how he's got his chance. But he himself is injury prone as well. He's been out a lot with injury. And there are questions about his temperament because he's been sent off a few times, which have obviously not pleased Pep, especially when you're getting sent off when you don't need to get sent off. Been a bit petulant and impetuous. So he's now found himself realistically behind Zinchenko in the pecking order. So we've got Ben Mendy, Zinchenko, then Delph. So Delph doesn't play in midfield. He can't play in City's midfield. Let's be quite honest about that. So he's now third choice left back. And what Pep has apparently said, we're going to get another left back because at the end of the day, we can't rely on Mendy not being injured. You know, we cannot go into next season with Mendy, Zinchenko, and Delph as our three left backs. We just can't do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get another one. So Delph will find himself fourth in the pecking order. Now, must be late 20s now, Delph. So at some point, he's got to ask himself, is he going to be happy taking the wage, taking a good wage, or will he look for game time somewhere else? He probably can't get the same sort of money elsewhere. So it's going to be very interesting to see what would keep him at City next season. Is it money? Is it the fact that he likes being here and he's going to work hard and try and stay fit and try and get I don't see it.
He does seem to genuinely love being around City and the players and everything else, and he really does genuinely looks like he really likes being part of Man City. And
it's not good enough.
I just think, let's not forget his contribution last season. And I keep saying this to City fans, we're quick to jump on somebody, and he has had a lot of injuries this season. I get that, but last season he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant for City in the Centurion season.
What I said last season as well about him and Zinchenko, there's mistakes in them, and last season especially, the defence didn't have the same sort of workload, I think, that it's had at times this season when they've been caught out, because we're having 70% possession. We were going forward so much that his defensive nous wasn't really called upon. His ability as a defender wasn't called upon. We've seen time and time again he's made mistakes. Zinchenko's made mistakes. Ben Mendy makes mistakes. And that's because also City are a team to go forward. We're not looking at a left back to be a defender. We're looking at it as a left back to be an auxiliary winger, or an auxiliary attacking midfielder. So
anyway, listen, I'm going to move it on.
I say Delph staying.
So Delph stay or go?
Stays. He's going to stay because he's English. We can't dump 4 or 5 players. We need some continuity.
Okay, that moves us on to the general. And that is Nicolás Otamendi.
Nico, great player. He had a fantastic season last season. Apparently, there's some grumblings this season, and suddenly he's come back in the team. He's had a few decent games. He's got rid of what he used to have under Pep, when Pep first came, was that diving in, committing yourself. And so I'm going to have to turn my phone off. Get yourself in a lot of trouble.
That's Nico ringing you now saying, I don't dive in anymore.
It's Nico, yeah. Nico on my case. I tell you what, that's a more fearsome person on the phone than Nico Otamendi. That's my missus. Yeah, my missus. Anyway, so Nico, he's much, much better. He's suited to the Pep system. He's aggressive and quite dominant in the air, which is a useful thing to have against certain opponents. There's rumours that Barcelona are interested in him. I think the only reason he'll go, because, look, as you're getting older, you get in your late 20s, you want a bit more game time. Same with some of the kids. You're eager to play. You want a bit more game time. And no doubt he wants a bit more game time. No doubt he's heard the rumours. Okay, Company's got probably one more season. He's heard the rumours about Mahrez de Ligt. He's seen Eric Garcia coming through. Eric Garcia is going to be in the first team squad next season. Might not play many first team games. He'll be in the squad training with the first team next season. I'm 110%. And so the only reason I can see him going and possibly agitating for a move or whatever is the rumour that Barcelona will come a calling for him, and he'll go for that only reason. So I think that's it. Unless someone comes in like Barcelona, really, really big team, I can see Otamendi staying.
Okay, so it's a stay from Ray. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Claudio Bravo, very quickly, 1 minute. Claudio
Bravo, he's been injured. He's out of contracts at the end of the season. Having said that, he's a good number 2. And it's better to have an experienced and older number 2. Muric, he'll be gone end of the season. He'll be gone on loan because that's what he needs to do. There's rumours that Zach Steffen, the guy we bought from America, will be in number 2 next season. Claudio Bravo is a 50-50 for me. Because he's not played this season, we've not missed him. And on that basis, I'll say he's gone. I'll say he's gone. Yeah.
Bravo's cheerio. Eliaquim Mangala, very quickly.
Look, basically, it's hard to play for City since his apparent £42 million signing. I don't know who, said that was a good idea because he's just not. He's not fit the bill. So we extended his contract by a year or so. It's very obvious he's gone in the summer, unless he gets injured.
Yeah.
He'll be gone in the summer. So he'll be gone. So Mangala.
He gave him the contract just so we can get some money back.
10 million quid, getting gone.
Yeah. Which leads us now to the big talking point. This is the last one on the rumours of all these 8 players that are allegedly unhappy and leaving Man City, and the final one is Leroy Sané. So, Leroy.
Enigma.
Wonderful player. I'm going to start with a question to you, and that is he gone in the summer or is he staying? I'm going to start with that first.
He's staying.
Okay, I agree.
It's always a proviso. If someone comes and says, here's 150
million. I asked you if there's a proviso. I said, is he staying or is he going?
He's staying unless someone offers 150 million quid for him.
Okay, well, if you look at his transfer value, as it stands at the moment, I think if you look at some of the websites that do transfer market stuff, and he's worth around about 90 million quid.
Nah, more than that, miles more.
But I think he's worth more than that. But anyway, I don't know what your thoughts on it, and I don't really want to spend 5-10 minutes talking about it because we don't know. And my problem is when people start going on and on and on about Sane and everything else, and we don't know whether there's anything in his background, personal life, like David Silva and others. Yeah. We have no idea.
Look, he's 22 years old.
And people, he's fallen out with the manager. He might have done.
Yeah.
But I would suggest if he's been disrespectful to Pep wouldn't have him anywhere near the squad. He would probably give him a right bollocking, get rid of him, send him away, say, don't train with us. Yeah. We'll have him on the bench week in, week out. So we have no idea. What your, very quickly, 1 minute, what your thoughts on Leroy?
Leroy, it could be anything. It could be his mum who's putting or in the works and saying we want 250 grand a week because he knows he's worth it. It could be his missus giving him grief for whatever reason. She's about 7 years older than him. Could be his baby, keeping him up at night. It could be a whole host of reasons. It could be his attitude, laziness, and not tracking back enough. It could be a whole host of reasons. It could be a combination of them. We simply don't know. Yeah. Is he one of the best young talents in world football? Absolutely. Yeah. Do we want him to stay and fulfill his potential at City? Absolutely. Yeah. And does Pep want him to succeed? Absolutely.
Well, here's some stats on Leroy Sané. Last season, 2017-18, he played 49 games, scored 14 goals, and got 19 assists in all competitions. This season, 43 games, 15 goals, 18 assists. So, as it stands at the moment, he's got one more goal and one less assist than he did last season when people were talking about him as in the top 5 players in world football.
Yeah. And it's quite sad that he's not even up for Young Player of the Season. But I think that's because in the latter part of the season, he's not played that much. And so when the players were voting, he wasn't playing. So
you have to honestly think there's no coincidence that just a couple of months ago he had, or 3 months ago or so, he had a baby boy born, and become a young father and think, and that's been where there's been this little bit of drop off.
Yeah,
things have come out, and there can't be any coincidence in that.
Yeah, look, mate. Babies and things that are happening in your personal life affect different people differently. Look at Sami and Nasri. Both from the Blues, favourite player. He'd marry him and kiss his head all day long if he could. But look at Sami and Nasri. He had problems in his personal life. And he's, from being an absolute top player for City, he didn't want to fight for his place. He didn't want to play under Pep. And, he's drifted. And he also split from his girlfriend. So different things that happen in your life affect different people differently. So Sane, a young baby, he was only 22 years old or something when he had a baby.
He's a child himself.
Some people thrive. Look at Phil Foden.
Yeah.
It's not seemed to have affected him. All the things that we talk about other people, they're young, they're not playing. Gabby, or is he unhappy? Phil Foden says, I'm happy. I had a young baby. Is there a problem? Phil Foden, 18. Had a baby, or 19, still happy.
Not 19 until next month.
Yeah. So a lot of issues but if you're really, really committed to City, like Phil Foden is, then these things you seem to be able to handle. Everybody's temperaments are different, and Leroy does look a little bit, high maintenance at times, but we don't know. So I'm hoping that he'll get the summer off. He'll have some time with his family, sort his contracts out, be at peace with himself and with his family and his baby, and have some quality time. Maybe that's all he needs.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. We didn't know what was happening with David Silva until it eventually came out. We had no idea why he was jetting off here, there, and there.
He responded positively because he said, out on the football pitch is the only time I can forget my situation.
So we don't know with a young lad like Sane, he's got a new baby, and you've got kids, I've got kids. We know what it's like when, only takes for them to be poorly and, something goes wrong and they're in hospital, even if it's not life-threatening like David's was. Yeah. That it takes emotionally, it takes an awful lot out of you and your mindset.
And sometimes it's on your mind all the time.
It's always on your mind. It's 24 hours a day. You can't sleep. You can't.
Footballers, guess what? Footballers are human beings too.
Absolutely.
My lad, he broke a bone in his foot. Okay, it wasn't serious. It just meant for 4 or 6 weeks he couldn't do sports and stuff. But it was still in my mind because I knew my son, was missing going out and doing judo, or he's missing going out and playing football, or he's missing doing a lot of stuff. And it was honestly, it sounds daft, but it was on my mind that my son was missing out on stuff he loved.
That's just the way. I mean, when my youngest was born, he ended up, after a week going into hospital, rushing him into hospital for a week, and and that week or so, and for months and months and months after, is he all right? Is he okay? Is he still breathing? Is he still? And he was perfectly fine. But your mindset is this precious thing has come into your life, and everything is surrounding them
exactly
at that moment in time. And football, if I was playing professional football, that would have been absolutely irrelevant to me at that time. It would have been my sole focus in life. Would have been my child and everything else. So we don't know, and I hate all this. Media bullshit and social media crap that comes out and always falling out with the manager. And it's like I said on social media the other day, I said to somebody, how do you know? Were you at training? Were you there? There was this fallout between Pep and Sane. Were you there? I wasn't there. How do you know? Were you there? And I just think sometimes just stop it because we have no idea.
Yeah.
Now, there may have been a fallout. We don't know that. But don't speculate because there could be 100 other things like what happened with David Silva, that going on in his personal life.
He doesn't want people to know about.
Yeah, he doesn't want it. It's private. And if it was that bad and there was that bigger fallout between Sane and Pep Guardiola, Pep wouldn't have him anywhere near the team. If it was an attitude thing, and Pep wouldn't have him anywhere near the team, he'd say, go away, go and take a few weeks holiday with your family. Don't come near the team. I don't want you affecting the team mentally.
Pepper said, we've spoken to Leroy. He knows what he has to do, and I think it's just about you've got to track back more.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But I'll just finish with this. These journalists who seem to be privy to this, highly secretive information. So journalists know that Mahrez has been griping, that Jesus is unhappy, that Sane's got issues, that Otamendi's been irking for a move, that Gündogan wants to leave, that Danilo's got to Inter Milan. Blimey, mate. But they never quote a source because they can't. They'll say, "Oh, we can't quote our sources." Well, it's easy, mate. It's easy to say make up anything. Mate,
we could do that. We could do it now. We could do it right now and say,
"I tell you what."
A source of Man City Fan TV who's well deep within the City phase says that Sergio Aguero is not happy and he's going to leave in the summer. We could easily say that.
Yeah.
And say we can't name our source.
Mate, I heard a rumor
and get millions of likes and follows, clickbait, and everything else.
I heard a rumor from a very good source within Claudia Schiffer's entourage. A very good source, okay, but I can't name them. That she is a subscriber to Man City Fan TV.
No, I can tell you it's true because that source, she was an ex-girlfriend of mine. So
I tell you what, you got
sauce.
I'll tell you what, you got a bit of sauce, haven't you?
Anyway, what this video was about was just really sort of, it was somebody asked us on one of our live vlogs and said, could we look at the players and rumours and things like that? And of course, we listen to our followers. We won't charge you any money. We'll answer your questions. We'll be honest. And like I said to you, we've gone through 8 players there.
Nine.
9. Yeah, sorry, we added Mangala, didn't we?
He's a player still, mate. He's a player.
Yeah. Okay. Well, not a player so much. But we've gone through all of them. We've given our opinions for what they're worth. At the end of the day, like we said, we're not journalists. We don't claim that we've got any inside knowledge on Man City like they do.
We don't talk to any of the City players, any of the City management.
It's nonsense. So they're just our thoughts and our opinions.
I've just on the spur of the moment, I've got a comment to all the journalists out there. And to Man United for tomorrow. It's my comment to the
we'll leave it there. But anyway, we've got other stuff. We've got, like I said, we'll do another video because one of the other questions by one of the followers on Man City Fan TV was, can you talk about Joao Felix? Can you talk about Rodri? Can you talk about some of the other players like Ndombele and others, and who City are gonna buy in the summer? We have no idea, mate. We're in the dark as much as you are. We can give our opinions on them, but I would never ever want Man City Fan TV to claim, oh, this is what's going to happen, because journalists really don't know. And like I said on the Bolt from the Blue podcast, 94.5% statistics over 5-year study of journalist rumours, clickbait. 94.5% of them were just garbage. Only 1.5 of them they got right. But that's like throwing a dart and going, oh, hey, there we go, I got one right. There you go.
I wouldn't say they're all garbage. I would say some do fall down for whatever reasons, and they might have been in the pipeline. They might fall down, but they don't happen.
But that's why I said 94.5% of them are statistically nonsense. 1.5 of them come true, and the bit in between is I've heard a rumor from his agent, and a lot of sort of and that's what agents do. They throw names out here, there, and everywhere.
Question to you, and I know the answer. Why is City's name mentioned for every single player out there?
Because we've got money, we can buy, and we can raise profiles, and we need certain players in certain positions.
Exactly. So when someone mentions City to be involved, the agent says, "Oh, City are interested in this player. His current club might pay him a little bit more in his new contract." If City say that, if agent tells Barcelona that City want Matis de Ligt, for instance, it might mean that Barcelona offer the kid an extra 20, 30 grand a week. Yeah. There's all sorts of reasons for it.
We'd do it if we were managing our kids and it was the same thing. We'd go, oh, well, so-and-so want him and they're saying they're going to give him this. And
Yes.
That's just the way
Play it off.
work. It's the way they work. They play one club off another.
Look,
So,
I've seen it, with people I know where someone's got in a job and someone else, they're about to change jobs. They go to an employer and say, look, X have offered me so much. I'm off, mate. And they come back and say, well, hang on. We want you to stay. Here's an extra 20 grand a year.
Yeah.
And for most normal people, 20 grand a year is, I'm happy to stay.
But that's what the agents are there for. The agents are there to stir, not just talk to the clubs, but to get in the pockets of certain journalists that can push their
exactly.
And they can say nothing to do with us, because that's why the journalists say, oh, I can't name a source.
Yeah.
Most of the sources are the agents, and they're the ones who are saying, get this out there. You'll get loads of clicks, loads of likes, and you'll get a big story, but we're trying to push a bit more money off
Best
this.
source, HP or Daddies.
Anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. I'm here with Ray. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, this video was purely done on the back of a question that was asked by Qasim Ali on Man City Fan TV. Yeah. He's one of the followers. He asked the question and said, could you do a video on some of the players that might be outgoing and the rumours and things?
Voila, here's the video.
And we've done it. So listen,
keep questions coming in, guys. Keep them coming in.
Absolutely. This video will be on our channel. And don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, it's really important. Subscribe, click notification. Give us a like, a thumbs up, and comment below the video. If there's anything else in particular that you want me and Ray to talk about. Sometimes, as I mentioned on some of the videos before, we can't mention them live because it might be a question from one person that other people have got other questions. You need to structure the videos certainly
like today
on a proper question that somebody asks. It's not one that we normally can do on a live vlog because you're inundated with so many hundreds of questions,
and sometimes we need to do a bit of research like today on
of course,
absolutely. Age and all that, and it's good as well to do a 30-minute in-depth analysis rather than a 2-minute
So please understand, we can't do a live vlog to answer your questions like that because, like I said, me and Ray, like I said, we've given you stats and games and goals and assists and what transfer fees and we can't do that on a live vlog. It just doesn't work because what it'll mean is going, hold on, stop all these.
Head's not big enough.
Yes, stop all these hundreds of questions coming in while I just go and have a look at what was the exact figure. So if you've got any other questions below this video, post them. If we've got time, we'll definitely sit down. We've got 4 or 5 other sort of points and questions. One about I'll read them out now. One is about any young players in the academy, which we'll look at, and we said we're going to do. Managers in the future to replace Pep. It's not one I really want to do right now, if I'm honest with you, because Pep's our current manager. And I think we've spoken about, Arteta and Xavi and everything else. Yeah. Well, there's a very good question, and one of them from, again, this was Qasim Ali. Can we talk about the whole racism in football? That is something we're going to do. How we're going to do it yet, we're still not decided because we've got a couple of journalists involved who might want to talk about it, but we want to be very careful in what we say. So it's not one of those we can do on a live vlog. It's one that we're going to have to be really careful about the language we use. We're going to have to be absolutely certain in certain elements that we're talking about. So it's an area that we have to be very careful about. So we'll do a bit of research on it first. We'll speak to the journalists who want to come on and talk about it, and we'll set that up definitely, Qasim. So that's a very good question and one that me and Ray have been talking about for a few weeks now. But it's not one that we can just do on the hoof, and because we want to do it justice, and we've got to tread carefully about some of the things that we might speak about. So good question. Keep them coming below. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Thank you very much, Ray.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy.
And like I said, don't forget, subscribe, click notification, tell your friends, this is the channel to be on. And if you want to follow the live vlogs, I'll be going live later on this afternoon when I've done a little bit more gardening. Everyone everything is we've got to hit those. We've got to hit that 8,000. That's our next target. We're only a few hundred away. So get your friends involved. And we'll see you soon. We'll be back. Tomorrow's a big day. We've got loads on. So anyway, take care, Ray.
Cheers, mate.
See you, followers. Sandy from Man City Fan TV.